Yo, welcome back everyone to another episode of Oh Word. I'm your host, Koerri Elijah, and today I have a very, very special guest with me, Seth in Between. Man, thank you so much for taking some time to come talk to me, man. You just dropped an album. It's your freshman album. It's a solo release. You wrote, produced, engineered the entire thing, man. How you been? You know, it's been a minute since we actually linked up or we even, got to talk or anything like that.
It's been a minute, bro. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good about the album, especially. I was excited to do something like completely by myself and handle every aspect of everything, from the recording to the writing, production, the management, even the artwork. I made everything. So it was just nice to have like complete control of something again. Not that I have a problem with collabing, but it was just how it is as an artist. It's just nice to have my hands on everything. So that feels really good. The response has been awesome too. Like the messages I've been getting and just like seeing the stats and just seeing like how it's actually like impacting people already. It's only been out for like a couple of days, but like I've heard so much like positive feedback from people, and it's already doing exactly what I wanted it to do, which was kind of like bring the focus back to Kenosha with what I was doing, because I felt like I had been gone off in Milwaukee doing Rocket Power. I'm in LA doing all these things. I wanted to do something where it's like, this is where I'm from. This is why I am the way I am. This is like the reason everything is the way it is. Like, that's why it's called Meadowood in the first place, was to really bring everything back home to the beginning. Like, let's start again. All right, I know who I am. I've gone off. I've done all these things, but like, I'm ready to like come back and start like this real journey towards wherever the hell this is going.
Word, man. That's so awesome. And like you said, man, you're trying to just bring it back. So let's talk about your come up, you coming up, growing up in Kenosha. Me and you, we go way back to, Washington Bowl, skateboarding, freaking you busting out them inward heel flips and stuff like that. Like,
Yes, sir.
so,
yes, sir.
So
that's crazy. I forgot about this.
Yeah, it's been a while.
The
Washington Bowl.
Inwards, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Definitely.
So
we lived at the bowl, man.
Yeah, man. That's we got the connection, man. So what was it like, for you coming up? Like, I know, like, I don't want to answer it for you, So
right.
what was your experience like, growing up in Kenosha, getting into music, hanging out in the scene here, all that different types of stuff?
Yeah, I think, well, anyone from Kenosha, I feel like everyone's kind of the same, where it's like you have friends of like all these different backgrounds and like different like styles, I guess. Because I would like skate, have my skater friends. I played football, I played sports, so I had like my sports friends too. And then I like to party, so I like my party friends, So I feel like when you're from Kenosha, you get to meet so many different kinds of kids, because everyone's like the high schools are so big, so like there's so many people all in one space that like you can make a lot of different friends. So like I guess like diverse would be like my upbringing is very diverse. Like I've hung out with so many different people. Like you're like what, like 5-6 years older than me. Like they're like, I had a whole crew of friends that were like, almost like like Josh, like my cousin, hanging out with you guys. So like I've hung out with so many different kinds of people. I feel like I just ended up taking little bits and pieces of everything as I kind of maneuver through life. And even now, like even in music, it's like I have like my EDM friends. I have like the electronic scene that I'm in. I got my like people I go to for like hip hop. I've got singers, and then I got like the whole podcast thing. It's like there's so many different. I feel like that's kind of been like the theme of my entire life, has been diversity. Just like a lot of different people in my life that are influencing me and inspiring me to try different things. Like, so I'd say diverse is the best word to describe the upbringing come up.
Hey, I hope everybody's enjoying the podcast so far. Just want to take a brief moment to talk about this episode's sponsor, Coin Sports Bar. It's located in Kenosha, Wisconsin, where I live. It's a super dope sports bar. They have like dart leagues, they host benefits and fundraisers for people in need, and also they have a probably the dopest ladies' night event you could ever have on every Saturday night. It's called the Vibes Lady Night, hosted by my good friend Ron Brown here. It's super dope. They're super dope people. It's a great time, and they're always there with great prices and great food. So shouts out this Coin Sports Bar. You want to make sure you stop by. Located on 52nd Street here in Kenosha, Wisconsin. It's so dope. It's amazing. Stop by their Facebook page. Give it a like so you get updated with all the new events. And hey, stay tuned because I'm going to be hosting some events there as well, some talks and stuff. So Coin Sports Bar is this episode's podcast sponsor. Shouts out to them and shouts out to you for taking a listen. Now back to the episode. Nice. What got you into music?
My stepdad actually is a drummer. So he played the drums in church. And then we would have to go to church sometimes at like 6 a.m. because they had like to practice before like church actually started. So then I'm like just in this church super early, and they have like multiple rooms with instruments in it. So I'm just in there. No one else is really in there but the band. And I'm kind of just like tinkering around on like pianos and like drums and just like anything I could. And even like I wanted to play the drums like him in church was like the first like I guess musical goal was just to be able to play the drums like he was. And then it just kind of kept bleeding into more and more. We had a drum set at home, so I learned how to play the drums, and then I wanted to learn how to play guitar. I started like teaching myself how to do that, and I started teaching myself how to play the piano. And I just kept like wanting to, I guess just always wanted to make music. And every time I learned something new, I would just like add that to like my little repertoire. And so like now I'm a producer, which just makes sense because it's just like, yeah, you learn how to play all these different instruments, you learn how to, understand all these different progressions and stuff. It's like it only makes sense to kind of, become a producer.
Hmm. So when was the first time you decided to pick up a pen and start writing lyrics? Because I know, we know you now as Seth in Between. We know
Right.
your big stint with Rocket Power, which is super dope too. But I mean, I remember
Yeah.
back in the day, Thrizzy back in the day.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
what
Definitely.
motivated you to like? Was it just maybe just writing poems or something? Like, what made you get into lyricism? I mean,
I think,
you got bars. It's displayed on the album.
yeah.
So I mean,
I'm trying to remember. I mean, I remember like my first ever song I ever recorded. I got sick. I had mono in high school, and I couldn't go to school for like a month and a half. And I was just like, I remember like kicking it. Like I'm like, I got all this cough syrup, and like Lil Wayne is like the guy back then. So I'm like, I literally have lean. I'm like, I'm lean right now. Like I should rap, like like honestly, like because I was already, like I said, I was already tinkering around in music. And then I remember figuring out like on YouTube how to turn on auto tune in GarageBand. And like that really kind of like me just like it went from me just like singing songs I already knew into the auto tune just to hear what I sounded like auto tune to like writing songs. And then like the first real rap I think I ever wrote was at like a talent. It was like for a talent show at a yeah, it was a talent show at a summer camp. I still have pictures from that, but yeah, that was probably the first time I rapped. And then it was weird because from that I rapped at that talent show, and then someone like booked me from that talent show to play another thing, and I played like another show like a week after that, and I played another thing, and it was almost like I played like 5 shows in like my first like month of like deciding I'm a rapper. You know what I'm saying? So
oh,
like it just kind of happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I just never stopped doing it. Even throughout Rocket Power, I was still like I'm always writing. It's almost like when you skate. Every time you see like a staircase, you're like, bro, like you're just thinking of all the possibilities. Like, and I
right.
feel like it's the same thing with me in music. Like, anytime I hear a piece of music, it's just like, what are the the possibilities?
Mm. Man, that's awesome. Yeah, that's sick. So with that, as things kind of progress with you, as because you start performing, things start kind of like, snowballing
Yeah.
for you, especially I can imagine within the first month, especially after the first time you perform, someone approaching you wanting to get you on to another show. I'm sure that, added some extra motivation to you. So as things started,
Hmm.
moving along for you, when did you decide that you actually wanted to like really take things seriously?
Probably, Kid Cudi, when his first album came out, that was like so big for me because it was the first time I heard rap music done that like wasn't gangster rap. Like everything that we really listened to up before that. I mean, we were listening to like 50 Cent, we were listening to Jay-Z. I mean, like DMX. Like there wasn't a lot of rappers rapping about like how they felt and just like regular things. So like once he came out and like the group of friends I was with, they loved him just as much as I did. And I was like, yo, like people would like listen to me rap about things. You know what I'm like? It was like, oh, people actually care to listen to people like rap about things that are real instead of like, not that like gangster rap isn't real, but like things that like we can actually relate to. So like yeah, when Kid Cudi's album came out, I remember like listening to that a lot, and like I even kind of follow that kind of structure with everything I do. Like even how he like mapped out like the first album, he has like acts and like scenes and like how he sets everything up, and that's like kind of like even how I approach everything. Like Meadowood's the same way. Like it starts off like a playground, and you hear like kids playing at a playground, and like that's what Meadowoods was a bunch of kids playing outside. So like that's really what made me like be like I it's actually something that I could do because I'm very like as creative and I guess bright-eyed as I am. I'm still like a realist, and I don't like to like do things unless I really can see myself succeeding in them. Like if I didn't think I could do this, I wouldn't like pursue it. You know what I'm saying? And I think
Mm.
Kid Cudi kind of made it like a real thing for me, where I'm like, holy shit, like I can actually like just express myself naturally, and people like might fuck with it. So yeah, probably Cudi, honestly.
Yeah, no doubt. No, I definitely feel that and I mean, you're right. Before the only person I could think of before Cuddy, and I wouldn't even say that he would be a motivating factor, but Kanye being
Oh,
kind of like
definitely.
the conduit to be like he surrounded himself like he was the normal dude, right? With the
Hmm.
gangsters in Rockefeller.
Right. Yeah.
But to be the normal dude with the gangsters, you still have to do certain things to kind of make you fit in, right? But
Right.
then when he brought Cuddy under his wing, and it kind of allowed Cuddy to be like, hey, like you can be comfortable just being yourself around me because yes, I know these cats,
Hmm.
but I'm not necessarily one of them. And like for me too, like when that Cuddy album dropped, I was like, oh, this is just, and that's why I think he's, you know, looked at in the way that he is. A lot of people are like, why do people love Cuddy so much?
Hmm.
Especially like that for that time, for like young black kids that weren't super hood. It
Right.
was that love hip hop music, but could never really like fully see themselves because of what was, kind of being portrayed.
Right.
Although even a lot of the people that were making that music weren't even necessarily living those lives. Like people want to
Hmm.
see themselves in who they look up to, and we see it even
Right.
more nowadays with social
Right.
media and social influencers and stuff like that,
Right.
like
Exactly.
Cuddy was like the first person that was able to really tap into like being themselves. So I definitely dig that,
Yeah.
man. That's super dope.
100%.
Yeah, and I mean, I kind of feel that too. Kind of, just listening to your music, like sonically, I won't say it's like you're definitely not like a Cuddy clone. I mean,
Hmm.
there's definitely you could tell he's an influence, but you could say there's other people that influence you as well because
Right.
you have that sound where like it's layered where you can use harmonies, right? Or you can come in with the bars, or you can come in and just like
Right.
feel the energy of the track. There's plenty of moments on this tape, on this album where it's like I know you were just kind of feeling, you were feeling the music and you were like really just
Hmm.
releasing what you were feeling, and made me like hella receptive to it because I almost was feeling the exact same thing, right? And that's a lot
Yeah.
of the stuff that
Right.
you get with like Cuddy's music, which is super dope. So I'm glad to see like that human connection, being transferred in
Yeah.
the music for sure. So let's dig in onto the album here. So that again, it's
Yeah.
called
Let's do it.
Meadowood. That's a spot for people that aren't familiar with Meadowood. That's like
Yeah.
what would you call it? It's like a town, not a township, but like a community here in Kenosha with
Yeah, it's apartment. It's an apartment complex. Is really yeah. It's like a
yeah,
big ass apartment complex. Yeah.
so wanting to get back to your roots and like you said, like highlight Kenosha, why did you decide to pinpoint with Meadowood? Um, is there like a specific relationship that you have with the area? Let's get into
Yeah.
that.
I just after the year we had in Kenosha, like like that, 2020, like after everything that went down, I just kind of felt like I was like, I kind of felt like we needed to remember. I know I needed to remember like what it was like us playing. Like when we used to play as kids, like there was no, I didn't care what skin color you were, and I didn't care, who you voted for or anything. Like we were just all kicking it, and like Meadowood is so tight to me because it was like all these different kids, all these different nationalities, and like I've never seen a place with so many kids in like a concentrated area where like we were just all like playing constantly. Like we had like the best summers. I feel like it was like out of a movie, like we could play any sport. I mean, like metal was just the way it was set up was just so lit. And I just wanted to like I needed to remember that. Like I was like I needed to remember like the people that we're arguing with as those humans again, as those kids that we were playing with like in our youth because like I feel like I mean, I was so angry most of last year, and like, and it almost like dehumanized a lot of people because of like it's almost like because they're against what we're like I don't know whatever we were talking about at the time. It was like I don't know either you're with us or you're against us with the mentality, and it was very just like no one got to be human for a while. I felt like there's a moment where it was just like I don't even have like I can't even like listen to the opposition anymore. It was almost just kind of it just got so I guess cutthroat. And I remember coming like I finally just like logged off of like all social media and everything for a while and finally got back to a place of like peace and then like was just kind of like going back and like just just reminiscing just like how it was growing up because like I remember like not wanting to return to Kenosha for a while during that during that time. I was like, I don't know if I'll ever go back there. Just because of like, there was so much it was war, you know what I'm saying? Like it was just like no matter whether it was the streets, whether it was the internet, it was just like war, you know what I'm saying? And like metal
Mm.
so like I guess kind of like it was me like revisiting where I used to live and used to love and kind of like reminding myself why I love it so much and like, and who and like what it made me and who I've become because of that place. And I thought Meadowood was just the best spot to bring it back to because like I said, when we were kids, we didn't care. Like we were just humans. And I feel like after the year we had, it was like we weren't I didn't feel like I didn't feel like that, like
No, I
it's kind
definitely
of
feel
deep, but
that.
yeah.
No, I mean that's real, man. And I mean, seeing a lot of this stuff, like firsthand, that's how a lot of people were really treating each other. It's just like
Hmm.
at the end of the day, even if you don't agree with what each other are saying, like at the end of the day, we have to live with each other. And it
Hmm.
was just getting to that point, and not even necessarily just in Kenosha. We've seen it like in so many places in the country
Yeah.
where people, it's like if you don't agree with people, it's like you're cut off. Like you might as
Right.
well, just be discarded, and then whatever happens to you happens to you. And it's like
Hmm.
we need we need that compassion to come back because I mean solely discarding people like they don't
Right.
disappear. And discarding people and putting them in a box or even like people getting deplatformed and stuff like that, I personally don't agree with it because
Hmm.
how are you going to know what these people are doing if they can't speak out in the public? Then they're just
Right.
behind closed doors, maybe plotting, maybe they're not doing anything, but you don't
Right.
know, and then
Yeah, totally.
you end up with a situation where it's like, we didn't see that coming, and that's because
Hmm.
we weren't able to see them
We
anymore,
shut it
you
all.
know?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, totally. Definitely. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, it's
So
almost like safer,
no doubt. But that's why,
you
like,
know?
but through it all, though, and that's one thing that I have noticed, there's been the people that have been tapped into the arts have been, in my opinion, holding things together for everyone,
Hmm.
they're bringing the energy, that is needed, or they're developing pieces that are creating conversations when people are maybe afraid to have those conversations.
Right.
It's allowing people to see something, and then the conversation will happen organically, opposed to people maybe having to come face to face and have those conversations, or try to spark those conversations when there's so much animosity, and people fighting and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
it's dope to hear that that was the inspiration to kind of, like, that's so sick to bring it back to when everything is cool, like back to when
Right.
you're a
Yeah.
kid. um
Hmm.
and just that piece for in Kenosha, especially everyone in, like, if you're in Kenosha, make sure, if you haven't checked out Meadowood, you have to check this out,
Check
because
out Meadowood, man.
those are the vibrations that you need right now, especially as a city. And it's coming from someone that experienced the city growing up, and has love for the city. So those vibrations, I'm sure you all need and enjoy those as well. So let's get into maybe some of the tracks on the
Yeah.
album, because first off, like I said,
Oops.
I mean, I just enjoy so much how it just flows.
Yeah.
You could just hit play on it, and you're gonna be on a ride. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's not going to be the same sound throughout it all. You're going to go up, you're going to go down, you're going to come back, but you're going to enjoy the entire ride that you have there. So off top, I'd probably say right now, at least right now,
Mm.
my favorite track is probably Holy Ghost right now.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. Tight.
um, Throughout list, like, I like so many of the tracks on it, but I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the time, or and where I am right
Yeah.
now. But I just was really, really feeling that. What was your inspiration behind that? And, like, first off, how did you start with the beat? Because that is,
Yeah.
I'm really feeling the beat on there.
So it all started with that, like, the choir kind of sound, just like this like low pass, like woo, woo. So it's like chords and like a choir, and it's like super low pass, and like that's it. It's just like a little loop. Um, so that was the first part, and like as soon as I heard it, there's like a point where like I'll be searching through samples, and like they stick out because they hit you in the chest. It's like as soon as you hit play, it's like ooh, like immediately like lyrics kind of like pop into your head, and like you can kind of just, it's like you can jump right into flow state and just go. And that was just kind of one of those tracks. But yeah, with the I wanted it to almost kind of be like no problems, or like have that kind of just like churchy yet kind of rebellious, bouncy kind of vibe to it. And yeah, every single song that I write too, like how I produce the whole thing is that it's getting produced and written all at the same time. Like I'm like half the time the drums aren't even all the way in yet, and I'm already have the lyrics. So I'm just like recording the lyrics over just the melody for a while, and then like um, I might get stuck, and that's when I need to add drums. Like I have a really weird way of writing music where I don't really write to beats. I kind of like write to like a melody, and like I'll write an entire song to like a melody, and then like the drums I put in, I will like write the drums to go with the flow that I wrote like perfectly. So everything is always kind of like syncopated and has a purpose, you know?
Oh, that's sick. I like that. So it's in that. See, that's probably why the album is so cohesive and works so well, in my opinion, because
Yeah.
it's being molded together by first one individual, but then also like you're crafting it all piece by piece yourself, right? So
Yeah.
it's not like, all right, here's you found a beat, someone sent you a beat, whatever, you got a beat off,
Yeah.
Beat Stars or something like that. Nothing wrong with that at all. And like even like through
Mm,
my personal experience, anytime that I am not a producer, right? But
mm,
anytime that I have ever made music, recorded, or even written with someone that
mm.
was making the beat while I was there, it just always turns out way better.
Yeah,
I'm not
definitely.
sure. Maybe it's just the natural transfer of energy or so, whatever it may be. But
I
it just,
believe in that 100%. Yeah, like I'm a big energy dude. Like I definitely think that has a lot to do with it.
yeah, it always just seems to, and that's why, again, why I feel like the album just works so well. And in my opinion, so many people that I listen to, especially now in this, this new generation of artists that are coming up, a lot of people are kind of taking that position and taking that role of, hey, let me maybe just do all of this, right?
Hmm.
Or or even some people that like that was their main thing. Sometimes they blow up for one of their crafts, in between, but like their main thing is like when they make music, like they're the ones that are controlling and crafting everything. And I always
Right.
feel it works out just way better that way. Like an
Definitely.
example of someone I think that does a great job at that, and a lot of people maybe don't like him as an artist but really like
Mm.
his beats, is Pierre Bourne. Like I feel
Oh
just
yeah,
like
dude. He's fire.
how
Yeah.
like his like and just like his albums that he drops, it's just cohesive, right? And again, like
Yeah.
what I said with Meadowood, you can just hit play on it and it just you can tell, even though it doesn't sound necessarily the same every single track. Some people might say it does, but
Mm.
it's just so cohesive and it just flows and it's just so perfect. And you can just fall asleep, let it play, go ride to it, do what I'm saying, lights
Yeah.
on, whatever,
Type shit.
whatever you need to
Yeah.
do. So
Right. Yeah.
so I definitely really like that track. Another track that I definitely was digging a lot as well was the Like You track, that
Mm.
has Silk Young on it.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
So Silk is like this crazy talented musician that I met in an Uber, like when I first moved to LA.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and she's from Houston, and she actually moved back to Houston recently, but she flies back like once a month, and we'll just like lab it out for a weekend. She'll come over, and we'll just like make music every day, and we have like crazy good chemistry. Like it was from the second I met her, we just been it's like a conversation, like those friends where it's like it's just a long conversation. Like every time you see it, we just pick up like where you left off. It's just like you just never miss a beat, and like that's how it is with Silk. And so when we did this one, we had already knocked out like 4 other tracks for her because that's how we are. We just like we get together and we can just like song after song after song. And I was playing her the album and I was like, "You want to hop on and do some ad libs here and there? Because we could have like a female on the song like this." And like, yeah, she just hopped in and of course knocked it out in like one take and that was it. And me and her actually have a whole bunch of like we have a whole like a whole nother project of collaborations that we're like trying to sort out because we did so much music together last year. And it's like that house kind of vibe, like the summery kind of vibe. So I'll probably drop that stuff this year. But like Silk is just like this amazing R&B singer that everyone should definitely check out if they can. Silk Young, yeah, she's
Dope,
tough.
man. That's sick, man. Yeah, just like those, and like all of the collabs on here, they all seem hella natural.
Yeah.
And I imagine, that's kind of what you were going with, just maybe just dealing with people that are your friends, people that you have those relationships with.
Yep, definitely. It has to be like a deep connect. Yeah, it was like everyone who's on here is definitely I have like a really good relationship with. And there's actually a deluxe version I'm gonna put out too that's got some other collabs from other artists that like are also we also have that chemistry. So that would be cool when I put those things out as well. But yeah, everyone on the tape or on the album is definitely like intentional. There's no like, well, they were just here, and you know what I'm saying. Like everyone is definitely like been sought out for everything.
Mm, dope, dope. And then thanks, of course, the outro. The reason why I really like that, especially I love it, especially as a way out. Just because not only does it kind of give you like this, so in the beginning it gives me like, okay, this cat is confident. He loves the
Mhm.
work, the body of work that he just created, and he knows that you're going to enjoy it just as much, even though you don't say that. You could just kind of
Yeah,
tell the energy
yeah,
that you're putting out. I was like, all right, I feel you,
yeah,
bro. That's what's up, man. You definitely feel
yeah,
good. But then the outro itself just kind of giving you like that cutty, like that kind of chill, that kind of spacey, airy kind of feeling on the way out. Just like you can kind of
yeah.
like, if you're finishing up whatever you're finishing, you could, finish that up. If you're about to go lay down, then you're nice and rested. You had your jolt of
Right.
energy to kind of get it out
Yeah,
before you go, before you lay down. Was that intentional to have that kind of end
yeah.
that way, or
Definitely. I'm obsessed with intros and outros of anything. It's like that's like how something starts and how it ends to me is like so important. And it might be because of like the time with Rocket Power too. Like we would spend so much time making sure the intro to our set was like super captivating, and that the way we ended the set was also super captivating, because like those are the two most important times of just about anything, is like your hello and your goodbye. Um, so yeah, definitely. And I actually made that song. I thought I was done with the album. I thought On God was going to be the end, because of the way On God kind of flips from like that hype kind of beat to like all of a sudden it goes into just piano and like gospel chords, and I'm just like rapping about like kind of like people who shop at Kohl's, and just like the whole everything I was saying at the end. That kind of felt like an outro. But then I don't know. I felt like I wanted to say thanks too, because that's just how I am. I'm always like wanting to show gratitude for everything, and so I just thought it was a good way to end it. I think I'll always end each project with a thank you or some sort of like handshake, I guess, track at the end, because I like how that kind of flowed out. It thought was sick.
yeah, man. Like I thought it was just super dope how it ended, how it finished off, and then also kind of like was like, hey man, let me run that back.
You're right.
So it
Yeah,
it
like
it
yeah,
it it definitely leaves you with the energy where it's like I'm good, or let's keep it going. Let's run it one more time,
right.
man. So super sick, man. So and you said you have a deluxe version that you're gonna be dropping at some point as well, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna drop a deluxe at the end of next month. It's looking
Oh,
like, because I have so much music too. I at first, because like the album was longer at first, and then I shortened it, and just because like I wanted the first pass through to be so smooth and just be like, this is just give them what they need and like what's absolutely necessary, and then from there I can build, because I have this like tendency to like throw everything into one thing and then like
mm,
leave myself with like nothing left. So I was like, let me just like make sure this project is like kind of short, because like 8 tracks on an album like in this day and age is almost like a like now they're putting out albums that are like 24, 25 tracks, because they want Spotify to just keep
right.
running their music, but I thought, yeah, just give everyone what they need, and like set the stage for you to kind of do whatever you want to do next. So I have a couple other tracks and versions of songs that are on this one, yeah, that I'm gonna put out at the end of next.
Sick,
So I'm
sick.
excited for that
And
too. Yeah.
any videos potentially in the work, or any video ideas or songs specifically that you want videos for?
Definitely. I'm always thinking of new ways to do content too. The reason I haven't done like a music video yet is because I'm still like conceptualizing something other than a music video.
Mm,
Um, I'm I'm really I have a couple different ideas. Like there is gonna be like a vlog series for sure, like a more like in depth. And I'm thinking things like that, just bringing people more into what's happening rather than, because to be honest, music videos to me are kind of just like, they're kind of just a flex. Half the time, it's kind of like it's kind of like like a showcase of like where I'm at in my career. Like, okay, like now I could
Mm,
afford the Lambo in the background. I can afford the lights. I can afford, you know what I'm saying? Like this is where we're at now. And so, like, the reason I don't want to do a music video yet is because I feel like I don't want to. I feel like that's a lot of production value to put into something where it's like, well, let's build this thing out first and really make sure it's appreciated before we just start throwing a bunch of everything into that. So I want to start like doing more like a weekly vlog series, things like that. Things like I have all these crazy edits I make to every song that I make. I'm always making like these like GIF edits where they're like almost like
mm,
aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? Like aesthetics and like visuals that aren't necessarily like me rapping, but just like visuals that give you like an emotion that kind of emotes some kind of like feeling and that matches each song. So you'll definitely see things like that coming out,
mm.
but not necessarily like a music video per se, you know?
Dope, dope. I like that. I actually
Yeah.
really like that and appreciate that approach because you're right. Like at this, like the music video itself has kind of become lost in a way, you know?
Hmm.
Like there's a few people that maybe make some decent videos. Like, I mean, I don't know, like the baby has like a team and then they just like he has a
Definitely.
whole production team though that will flesh out and like have video ideas, I
Hmm.
imagine, on deck. So it's like it's a whole machine that's running, right? So I could see how
Right.
he pulls that off. But the standard music video, you're right. It's like, okay, oh, we got the Lambo in this video now. It's like, oh, we got freaking Joe Exotic called in from prison in the video. You
Yeah.
know, it's like
Like,
it's either like
exactly.
you're doing a bunch of like super ridiculous stuff, or you just have, you know, you're just showing that you have a bunch of money or pretending like you have a bunch of money. So I definitely
Exactly.
taking the more creative route with like the visualizers and stuff like that is definitely I think that is a great idea. And then developing something or even like the vlog stuff too, because there's always ways to have your music playing without
Right.
necessarily having an official video until it's time to have
Exactly.
like a legitimate video. So
Hmm.
man,
Yeah. I
I
definitely
love
have like
that,
I like
man.
the idea. Yeah, definitely.
No, man, you're just it highlights the artistry, you know?
Hmm.
A lot of people aren't necessarily there's no wrong reason, I suppose, to make music. But some people
Right.
they're not always in it for, you know, the same reasons other people enjoy music for, you know?
Totally, totally. That's a good way to put it.
So so we're looking at some potential visualizers and some content to see what's going on with the music, as well as the
Mhm.
deluxe that's coming out. Moving forward, any ideas for, you know, the sophomore album? You're going to take some time throughout the year maybe to flush things out, or do you have
I
what's the
mean,
plan for Seth in between?
so I promised to drop 30 tracks this year. So I've got 22 other songs that are done that are I'm sitting on. Plus what I just made, like as like this thing started, I was working on something too. So I'm gonna put out a lot of music. Um, I probably won't do another album until the end of the year, but I have a lot of singles and just like kind of because now I'm at a point where like now that I've put out this body of work, you know who I am. Now I can kind of put out these singles where I'm trying new things, and because the sound has evolved so much, and I was kind of like I was almost nervous about I can't know I was pretty nervous actually with Meadowood because I've made so many songs since Meadowood has been done. You know how like once you've made something new, you don't care about what you've done anymore. You kind of
Mhm,
like so I kept having to like play Meadowood to myself like before I went to bed just to like remind myself that like I like it and that it does what I wanted to do because like I had just like figured out so much more stuff production wise and and like
mhm.
lyric wise and but I have a lot of music that is gonna come out this year. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Maybe a sophomore album at the end of the year, but definitely a whole bunch of singles.
Man, that's what's up. And then what about Cali life, man? Are we gonna, what else are you gonna do? Are you gonna dabble in anything else? I mean you
Woo!
have other endeavors probably. You seem like you're getting kind of swole. You about to start modeling or something, man? What's
Dude, I mean, I might do a gig or two. I might direct a few people where the beach is at. I know where the beach is at, so, so like, but like I mean, that the fitness thing just came with quarantine because like I don't know if you guys know, we're still like locked down as hell. Like it's like we haven't like bars have not nothing has been open, at all. Like it's even
Oh,
like restaurants. I mean, it's been like restaurants just opened like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks, something like that. So like it's not like we've literally been like in the crib or like I mean the beach is like the one place that you can go and like kind of like I feel like see people and not feel weird. But yeah, so it's just been like that this happened on accident just from being in the house like doing push-ups just like bored. But
dang.
I mean I still have like the other projects too, man. Like I still have the house music project that I have. I still have releases to do for that. I mean who knows what we'll do with Rocket Power. I mean you just never know with that. And then
Mhm.
plus I work like I said I do a lot of like freelance like music stuff, so like podcasts and like YouTube channels. Like, oh, if you need music for your stuff, let me know too. I got you. But so I
Word.
do a lot of stuff like that. So I've been like, just like me. My thing is just learning how to get better at what I'm doing. So like, I'll be in here tinkering around in the studio and working on stuff always. That's always what I'm doing.
Spending time in the dojo, man. I feel it. I try to
Yeah,
do the
man.
same thing, man.
Oh yeah.
Got to
It's
keep
safe
them
here,
blades
man. I
sharp.
love it.
Oh, I feel
Yeah.
that. I feel
I'm
that.
like, these bugs, man. Like there was, like, yeah, there's a lot of a lot of COVID out here for a while. So it was like, it's finally starting. I feel like it's finally now starting to chill out. But like,
Mm.
it's when it's locked down. Like I feel like yeah, when it's locked down like this, it just feels like it's worse than it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't know what the exact numbers are for anything, but when you can't do anything, like it feels like it's like, it feels super daunting. But I feel like we're on the tail end of it, and we're about to be. At least I hope so. I'm gonna keep telling myself that because it's making me feel good. So we'll just do that.
Yeah,
You
I got my fingers
know,
crossed myself, man. Like
yeah,
out here, it's a lot different. Like
yeah,
stuff is open and stuff like that. People are still apprehensive.
hmm,
I pretty much move around alone unless I don't have to.
right,
Just
yeah,
trying to just play stuff safe or whatever. But
right,
luckily though, luckily I could still at least go do something. Like if I want to go to a restaurant or whatever that's been open for a while, there's
right,
movie theater or whatever. If you want to go sit in a socially distanced theater, you can do all that stuff. So, I mean, that's the
yeah,
one, I suppose, one good thing about being in Wisconsin throughout all of this,
hmm,
but it's still been really weird, and there's been a bunch of ups and downs, a lot of you can do
yeah.
this way, nope, no, you can't do it. Actually,
That's
you
how,
should have
yeah,
probably
man.
been.
Yeah, dude. That's like, yeah, that's been so stressful trying to like, yeah, try to navigate that. Even, yeah, just in general, like doing the most basic things sometimes is just stressful. Like, just like trying to go to Target and like you forgot you're looking for your mask for an hour and a half because you don't know where you put it. And it's just like, like it's crazy. It's like a whole nother pair of keys. It's like a whole nother, just the mask in itself has just been like, I feel like I spend like 10% of my days just looking for like where it's at so I can leave, like
No, I feel that. Man,
I'm
I
like
think it's worse than the keys because it's like I'm don't take this the wrong way, everyone, right? Because you need them, right? You need
right.
them to keep people safe and to keep yourself safe, right? But at the end of the day, though, you don't need it to get
You
what you're doing done, right?
yeah,
Like you
right,
need
like
it,
yeah,
but you don't really need it. So you don't think of it as like, at least with your keys, and people leave their keys everywhere. You need them to drive somewhere or to get in
like
your house.
literally.
And people still misplace those. So
Right.
like if someone forgets their mask, please just remember that we don't, like, we need them, but we don't really need them, right?
Right.
So so just keep that in mind before you berate someone that accidentally forgot to have their mask.
Like,
But
yeah,
man,
because like that should be it's elusive, bro. Like,
it's like, man, where did I? Yeah,
bruh.
I had to wear a N95 mask because that's all I had in my car, and they're like those are the
Well,
ones that people were
they're the
using.
bird ones.
Yeah, yeah, and they're like super tight on your face, and like
Yeah,
I don't like my nose isn't necessarily the smallest, so they had like my nose is just like being smashed. I'm like, oh my
yeah.
gosh, I wish I had my cloth mask right now, but
Like, yeah, like that
I
thing is
was
MIA.
I was moving around like like I didn't necessarily need it, I suppose. But
Right.
dang, man, Seth in between. Thank you so much, man, for taking some time out to talk to me, man. Like I said,
Yeah,
the
thank
album is
you.
amazing. If you guys out
Appreciate
there,
you,
if
man.
you haven't listened to Meadowood, please stop by Spotify and check it out. It's an amazing piece of work. 8 tracks, easy for you to get in and out, or just keep it on play. You know what I'm saying? Or I mean, if you're really about that life, hit it, put it on repeat, play it when you
Woo.
go to sleep, and run this man's streams up, man. Because
Running.
this is he's a real one, man. He's from Kenosha. He put his heart and his soul into this album. Like we were saying, there's so many different sounds. It's a mixed genre type of album. Although there are bars, if you like bars, please know that there are bars on the album as well. But Seth, man, let people know how they can check you out, where they can find you if they want to, tweet at you, Instagram you, all that good stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely follow me on Instagram at Seth in between XL. Um, Holler at me, obviously on Facebook, just Seth David. And then I think that's it. That's all I'm gonna plug for right now. I got more in the works. I'm gonna leave it at Instagram. Just follow me on Instagram, Seth in between XL. And I'll holler at you guys soon.
That's what's up, man. Seth, again, thank you so much, bro. And next time you're out this way, bro, make sure you hit me up.
You
Or
already know.
if I miscellaneously randomly stop out in Cali, I'll hit you and we can link like in and out or something. But
Yeah,
but
definitely.
man, thanks so much, bro. I definitely appreciate it, man. Again, congratulations on the Freshman album and
Appreciate
all
you.
of the music and the great releases that you'll have coming up in the future, man. But thanks
Thank you
so
so
much.
much, man.
Everyone out there, this has been another episode of Oh Word with Koerri Elijah with my very special guest Seth in between. Make sure you stop by KoerriElijah.com. We have merch. We just updated the website. You get updates and all that good stuff at live events and stuff that we'll be having kicking off next month. So stop by the site. Buy some t-shirts, buy some masks if so you're protected, or you have some extra ones. We have those with my face on them, my logo face, so it's not as creepy, and hats and all that good stuff there too. So stop by KoerriElijah.com, pick that good stuff up. Stop by Spotify, stream the hell out of Meadowood. And until next time, I've been your good friend Koerri Elijah. This has been Oh Word, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Peace. Boom. That's it.
Word. Hey, thanks for checking out the video. I definitely appreciate it. Make sure you like and share it if you can. And please like or subscribe to the page because we got plenty of new content dropping for you guys. It's going to be heat, so you don't want to miss it. Thanks.